Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back to the series of things that pay the bills, but you'll never show anyone. This one shot by a very famous cinematographer slash commercial director. You will know the name, no doubt. You've seen the movies, you've laughed, and good luck figuring out who this is. But this is a weird sort of style for the cinematographer because it doesn't look anything like their feature work. And that is the real world, okay? It's kind of flat. It's all plays out in this one little car scene. It's kind of very family fun. And you would not associate this with this person. But these are the skills that you have to have, right? If you want to buy the beach house, these are the ones that are going to allow you to do that. So let's take a look at some interesting things. Number one, the coverage and where this place is positioned. So we're going to start with the wide. What is going on in the wide? Should we go full screen? We don't really need the scopes this job. Come on, go first time. Yes, first time. Yeah. Okay, so things to look at. The house setup, this location. Why is this perfect? Because we never see above it. We never see above it, and that is important. That is going to be important for our entire schedule. Never seen above this. Okay, it's backlit, right? We know that. Now, if you don't have the perfect day, the perfect backlit day, if you have a location like this, up here, you can fly. This is where you see like the giant jumbo fly swatter rigs, because you can fly something up there, up above, to soften off the sun just a little bit, right? You want to go something really light, you can do that if you have this sort of location. Because we're using this now, we've got lots of little things in the frame. We're shooting into the L back here. We've got the driveway parked over here and then the front door. We're balancing basically what is dark over here with inside of this car. And look at how much level is inside of this car, right? Now just imagine for a second that you could actually see the backlit sky. That backlit sky would be so hot that this would end up being so dark. And we don't want to do that because we want to see inside the car, right? This is a little comedy spot. It's a gag spot. You're not going to go with crazy The Dark Knight or something in the setup. You're going to play it a little bit more commercial, a little bit less dark. So the way that you do that is controlling those ratios. And even at the highest level where you have access to all the toys, you're still going to try and make it as easy on yourself as you can. And this is the way to do it. You don't want to see the sky. You want to shoot into the backlight so that you're shooting into the darkness, because when we go inside the car, getting level inside of a car to balance with the background is really hard, right? And we want to make it easy on ourselves. So that's the main thing, right? Orientation of the car, because the whole ad plays out in the car, to the background. We've got a nice dark background with shears covering up, right? Always shears. And that's a good thing. Even the car, you know, it looks sort of nice with that backlit little highlight on there. Even though it's not a car commercial, you're still doing things to help you out there. Now we play through. Door shut. Look at how flat it is, right? There is not a lot of light on this lady. And most of it is coming from over here with a gigantic set of lights. Over here, pushing level back into these people. Look at how much level is on the lady in the car, right? Mom, she's getting a full 18K to the face. And we're down here. Okay, again, what do we see? We don't see any location. We don't see any sky. You get a little bit of reflection here, but now, all of a sudden, that backlight, which is here, you can see it reaching over here, that little edge. Okay, we're gonna jump right into it. And when we're in a car, say this is moving very quickly, this shadow over here. The sun is back here, and it is setting. So this shadow is gonna creep out this way. Well, the great thing about a car, and angling so that when you're inside the car, you don't see the location, is you can just roll this car out this way to make it look more believable. So you can just chase the sun if you're gonna do it this way. And here we go. Okay, this is backlight. But let's say, for example, you wanna do this shot. Oops. You wanna do this shot. But this position of this house, the sun actually starts over here, pointing this way, and it would be all front lit. And then at the end of the day, when you're gonna do this shot, this is when you would do the big wide, when it's backlit. A lot of the times when you're shooting even commercial stuff, in the narrative world definitely, you wanna start with the wide stuff and work your way in so that you know the look that you're trying to match to in the shots where you can actually affect change. Well, here, say that's not possible. Say we have to end the day on the wide because that's the orientation of the house. Well, this is really easy to do because you can have the car facing the exact opposite direction. So spin this thing so that now the headlight's facing that way. And because we can't see around the location inside of the car, right? You can't see anything except these little tree reflections here. Now you can shoot this in any direction. So these little inserty shots, or this coverage is nice and easy to do. And even in this, right? We got backlight, You can see the little reflections in the eyes of just how much level is coming into the car now. So mom is not there in the front seat. We've got a big light pushing through. You know, there's might be a little bit of neg this way just to keep things shapely, but we've got daughter, line of the car. We've got him at the perfect height, right? He's probably sitting on some cushions or something like that, or slouching down, depending on how tall the person is. And we don't see out this window, so it makes it even easier for us, because if we saw out this window, then we would know where we're at in the location. So it's about choosing the right focal length in here too, to keep the compression narrow enough that you don't see too far outside of the car. From there, where do we go? Cross, and now we're back here. Okay, so let's match up that light. So there's no sort of slash going on in the background, but that might be because we can't see the bush. But as soon as we come to here, okay, now this is what you call flat, right? So we're gonna say that the sun is over here, so this is gonna be our key side. Look at the difference between this cheek and this cheek. Not a whole lot, right? It's pretty flat. And the difference in level between inside the car and outside the car is almost zero. There's almost no difference. Basically what we're balancing to here is this little line of sunshine. And say you don't have all the toys and you don't have enough level to, oh, we've gone big again. You don't have enough level to, because what you would be balancing to here is this background sun level. You need to get enough level in the foreground to deal with the sun. You don't have that kind of lighting, you don't have that kind of level. You could just put up some diffusion here because it's not a lot of sunlit area. You know, a little 12 by 12 over here would be enough coverage just outside the frame behind this lady's head to take this down a few stops, right? And then you need significantly less light to get this sort of look. And you can see in the eyes, you can see how many eye lights we got there? 2 on each side. That's a lot of eye lights. Okay, from there, and again, the framing wise, like this is all really good stuff. Even though the lighting is fairly vanilla, still we've got lady head, we've got seat, then we've got the window, then we've got in the background, we've got these little elements of, let's try and keep things interesting. Little darkness there. It's like there's lots of things packed into this frame, even though, you know, there's not a whole lot of contrast. We got a little push in there as well, a little zoom, and in the car. Now, that is a lot of level versus what's happening in the background, right? Lots and lots and lots of level. Also a weird sort of camera work over there, right? It's kind of like a up and down sort of pan, up and down, and then we land on the pan, and then we're about to go in the car. Now, this is hard for in the car stuff because it's like when we talk about bar situations, there's only so many different ways you can cover inside of a bar because it's 2 people on the same side. Well, in a car, it's the same thing. All of the light is coming this way, right? So when we go in for coverage, unless you're doing French overs behind the back and the back seat, cross shooting this way, you're not gonna be shooting into the darkness. You're gonna be shooting into the light, which just takes a little bit more work to look very sculpted. So look at how harsh the shadows are on the chin here. It's really quite harsh here because it has to be, because the light has to be so far away to not be in the shot. Whereas when we come into the coverage, we're not gonna do French overs, we're gonna do just traditional coverage. So here, look at how soft it is now though. We've softened it up, beautiful looking light in this shot. And here, we're balancing this key to this background. So that's how you do it. You figure, okay, what do I want the background to look like? At what level? You go there, you set the camera to that level hopefully before you call for ND. Like you don't wanna, worst thing you wanna be doing is changing ND like 4 or 5 times while you're setting up, right? You'll see the camera assistants will start to get very upset very quickly if you're changing ND 5 times before you set up the lighting. So you just iris down to get the background to the level that you want, and then you know exactly how much level you need inside of the car to get this, right? So this is, let's say this is a 1.5 stops over out here versus this, then you know exactly how much level you have to get in here. Then you can also feel a little reflector in here or a little electric poly that is giving us this contrast. And if you wanted to go true detective and a whole lot darker, well then you just lose this entire bounce. Lose that entire bounce, take this person's level way down, take the background way down, and then probably keep these same ratios, these two, the same, but just take everything way, way, way down. And actually, can we do it? Let's see if we can actually do it here. Right, that, and you loosen up the contrast. right? And now all of a sudden, right? Now all of a sudden, if we desaturate this, where's the saturation in this bad boy? Color boost, that's not what we want, saturation, right? Now, ta-da, let's go full screen. And there's light and bright, and there's True Detective, right? You're just bringing those ratios closer together and then pulling everything down. Anyway, just an idea. So in the car stuff is hard, very, very hard. But this is one of those bread and butter commercials. Same thing here. Like, it's way harsher on her as well. But again, all the principles are still the same, shooting into the darkness, creating as much interest in the background as you can. Those little touches always help. And then I think we're out. Look at this guy. He's confused. Why is it so bright in the car? I don't understand. Mom's just laughing. Oh, well. And we're out. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you're in a car, just think about the coverage that you're going to be doing inside of the car and the focal lengths, and that will help you decide what you can do in the schedule. So do you have to shoot the wide at the end of the day? Well, if so, then think about, well, maybe let's just stay really contained inside the car. Are you going to shoot French overs or regular coverage? And hopefully your stuff will look better. And one day you will be able to do a commercial like this and get a beach house. Okay, that's going to do it. We'll see you in the next one.